Now, I can't believe that because I've seen them try to throw out people's votes. I've seen them pretty consistently try to throw out people's votes. I've seen multiple colleagues, 60 plus colleagues, who signed a letter saying that we should throw out the votes of people in Philadelphia because they didn't vote the way that they thought they should vote in. They want to substitute their judgment for your judgment. So I can't really trust that this is not about taking away people's right to vote and having that vote count, because I see them do the opposite thing. And I will make this final point, that they said that this is also about, that this entire exercise is about making sure that our district attorneys live up to their responsibilities in office. That's what they said. But there is a Republican district attorney in another county that's not Philadelphia, who has, I just want to say he's not from Philadelphia. He's from a Republican area. This individual has lost his law license, has been credibly accused of sexual assault, but they are not interested in impeaching the district attorney who is assaulting individuals in their office. They're not interested in impeaching a district attorney who's using the power of that office to go after people who would dare speak up about the crimes that he has committed. They're not interested in going after the district attorney who no longer has a law license. That person, we should just let stay. That person's fine. But we want to go after a district attorney who was elected overwhelmingly here in this city. Twice, that's right, Pastor, twice. Overwhelmingly in this city. And so the reality is that if it's not about actually caring about gun violence, if it's not about actually not trying to turn over people's votes, if it's not about making sure district attorneys are held to a high standard as chief law enforcement officers, then what it is about is politics. Plain as day politics. And for these same folks who are crying about the Justice Department investigating Trump too close to an election, these are the same people who want to try to impeach a DA in the biggest Democratic bastion in this state a couple of days before the election. And so this is what they say it's not about. It's about politics, clear as day. But we are going to continue to show up. We're going to vote. We're going to follow the lead of the black clergy and speak out when we see something going on that we know should not be going on. And we're going to stand by our district attorney. Thank you.
State Senator Vincent Hughes.
All right. So I'm gonna finish up with the good representative didn't say. The leapfrogging of 60 some odd other counties, bypassing the county in question that the representative said, Somerset. I'll be specific about it. It's published, it's in the newspaper. It's public record. It's public record. Whose law license was removed, who is under investigation for sexual assault, is striking in this manner. The district attorney in Philadelphia has not been charged with any crime, not being investigated with any crime. Center Street, not being investigated with any crime by any legal authority, investigative authority. And it is striking in its face that you leapfrog from Somerset.
That's right.
To find your way 300 and some odd miles to the city of Philadelphia.
That's right. Say it.
In a season of elections.
That's what it is.
U.S. Senate, Governor, Congress, legislature, House and Senate, Pastor. All right, and so we're in fact the balance of power in the legislature is on the line. And needless to say, who's our governor, who's our U.S. Senator. It is striking, and I don't think it can be lost on anyone that the attempt to go after our district attorney who has not been charged with anything, and to ignore the DA who has been disbarred.
Say it.
Yes.
Say
How can
it.
you be a prosecutor if you have no law license?
That's right.
Yeah.
You're going for a walk.
How can you be a prosecutor if you have no law license? You can't go to court.
No, it's kind of bad.
You have to be a lawyer to be elected to prosecute. And now your law license has been revoked. You the lawyer, Senator Street. You the lawyer. I don't get it. Well, actually, I do. And I think we all understand it. And so folks have got, all we're doing here, at least at all of us, but definitely Senator Street and myself, all we're doing here is pointing out an obvious fact, okay? That our district attorney in the city of Philadelphia is being gone after when he has not been charged with any crime.
That's it.
Say it.
No crime.
And the district attorney in Somerset has been charged with numerous crimes, has lost his law license, and is being bypassed, ignored, leapfrogged
Guilty as sin.
to come to Philadelphia. In the famous words of somebody, I'm just saying.
Commissioner Omar Sabir.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Commissioner.
I'd like to thank the black clergy for your work that you do and the work that we continue to do. Now is not the time to be weary. Just recently, I visited Selma, Alabama. We commemorated the 57th year of Bloody Sunday, which ultimately led to the Voting Rights Act being signed. Bloody Sunday was in March. In August, we got the Voting Rights Act signed, and it provided protections for African Americans, disabled Americans. I mean, the voting rights has it expanded through our time. And so the power of the church is there. And it was just 600 churchgoers left the church, and they attempted to cross Edmund Pettus Bridge, and they were met by resistance. Was troopers on horses. They had weapons, and they told them to step back and stop. They disobeyed the order, and they kept on going. And I think now, 2022, I think what we do is going to decide the direction of the country. And it's time for us to come out to the streets, our family and our friends, on the pulpits, to let our community know how important it is right now for us to stand up for democracy.
Yes.
Because this is larger than Krasner. 2021, our colleagues and I certified the election for him to be district attorney for Philadelphia County. And if you are overturning or try to attempt to overturn the decision of the voters, that's a dangerous place that we're in. We're seeing election officials' lives being threatened all across the country. We're even seeing the FBI lives being threatened. And not just email threats. We're seeing people that have automatic weapons come to people's office. Who knows what would happen to them? If it wasn't for the heroism of the FBI, who knows if I would still be here, right? So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but it has to come to the average, everyday people. We have to do marches. We have to get back to doing those things that we've done to change the direction of this country. And right now, the soul of our country is at stake right now.
Yes,
That's right.
That's what's at stake right now.
That's right.
And things that are happening are unprecedented when we got to get back to doing things that we know how to do. And that is firing up everyone. Again, it's not partisan. It's not, Republican, Democrat. This is bigger than that. It's the sanctity of our country. This is what people sacrifice for. This is what makes America different than any other country, is that you have free, open, and fair elections, and we the people have decisions that we can make on how we want to govern our country. And that right now is what's at stake. So Tuesday, November the 8th, we have to get our family and friends to get out and exercise that solemn right. And we have to build the enthusiasm. We have to take it to the streets. There's no other way. The people that don't believe in democracy are taken to the streets. And we cannot allow them to outmaneuver us. So are you with me?
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Bring it to the
Bring it to the streets.
Bring it to the streets.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
President Kathy Hickson, Philadelphia NAACP.
All right.
All
All right.
thanks. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
And, you know, I have to thank again, Reverend Collier, the NAACP. We join the Black clergy and all who stand here lending their voices to this cause, because again, there is nothing more important than our vote. And if we allow something like this to happen now, to impeach someone that we voted in, we're saying that our votes mean nothing and our voices mean nothing.
Yes.
The Black clergy and the NAACP have partnered since the beginning, 1909, when we started the NAACP. And we stand with them again to make sure that everyone understands that this is important. Like our vote, our rights, our civil rights are being jeopardized at this time. You know, we cannot allow this to happen, and everyone that's standing here today, we have heard what they are trying to do, and we know what we need to do, and we need to make sure that our voices are heard and that we do not allow anything like this to happen. The Philadelphia branch stands here with everyone here, and we are gonna be on the fight on the front row, and we're gonna make sure that something like this does not happen, because it is our democracy and it is our right. It is our right to choose who represents our communities.
Yes,
And we can't
yes,
allow
that's
anybody to take that away from us.
That's right.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
I'm standing here today on behalf of Mother Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church, and also on behalf of Power Interfaith. Our Executive Director, Bishop Dwayne Royster, could not be here on today. And I want to just echo what Commissioner Sabir said. The church that you talked about was Brown Chapel AME Church. And that church, like many AME churches around the country and around the world, have always been a bastion of hope. When Mother Bethel was founded in this city, our founder, Bishop Richard Allen, who was an entrepreneur, who had a contract on George Washington's home to clean the chimneys, became a businessman, a realtor, church builder, but he was not a voter. Could not vote in the city that he loved, the city that he helped save during the yellow fever epidemic. And so we refuse now, more than 200 years later, to watch the hard-earned battle that has been won through places like Brown Chapel and other places be taken from us. This move is directly connected to what happened in January, on January the 6th, just a couple of years ago, when people stormed the Capitol and tried to overturn the election, which was called, by the way, in Philadelphia. Every time a certain group in this country cannot get their way, they seek to find a new way to write new rules. In the 1870s, it was shooting people like Octavius Cattle dead in the street. It was people like in Camden, New Jersey, where off-duty Philadelphia police officers in 1870 went over as quote-unquote security, and after black voters voted for the first time, took the election materials and took the voting box in the street and smashed it to pieces and tore up their votes. This is directly connected to a historical legacy of people trying to take the votes of black people right out of our hands. This is not about Larry Krasner. And in fact, let's be clear, if this was an attempt to impeach David O., who was a different political party than I am, but a city council member that certain Philadelphians voted for, I would stand here for David O. I would stand here for Mayor Kinney, who I've differed with multiple times. I would stand here for anyone that this city voted for and chose to put in elected office. We cannot allow, as President Collier said, this test to happen. If we sit back silently and Larry Krasner is impeached successfully, no elected official in the city of Philadelphia is safe in the future. Not one single person. We have an obligation to protect our future and the votes of every future Philadelphian. And so Power Interfaith stands arm in arm and shoulder to shoulder with Black clergy of Philadelphia and all the other allies in this fight. Thank you very much.
All right. Good evening. I'm Reverend Jerome Fordham. I'm with the National Action Network, the state president, and we stand with our dear Larry Krasner, because Larry Krasner was elected twice by the people of Philadelphia. He was elected with over 60% of the vote. of the people of Philadelphia, and he should not be held in contempt for not responding to the subpoena because he has appealed that cause, that issue in court. And we should let the court decide this. And while we're waiting for the court, we the people are deciding that we're gonna stand with our DA, Larry Krasner. People in Harrisburg want to control Philadelphia from Harrisburg, and we are not going to allow that. The Black Clergy, the NAACP, and all of our other organizations, we're gonna stand firm and stand with our DA, Larry Krasner, because we voted him in. We voted him in, and you will not put him out. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Movita Johnson Harrell, the founder of the Charles Foundation. Charles is an acronym for Creating Healthy Alternatives Results in Less Emotional Suffering. I'm a 5-time co-victim of homicide, and I was actually the director of victim services in the district attorney's office with DA Larry Krasner. I want to thank all our elected officials for coming out and standing in the right of democracy today. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the Philadelphia Black clergy who always stands in the line, on the front line, for the people of Philadelphia and their rights. This attack on democracy is so much bigger than Larry Krasner. We have seen the other party constantly try to change the rules on their behalf. What we have to realize in the moment, in this moment that's going on right now, that if it's not DA Krasner, then the next elected, who is a Democrat in Philadelphia, is going to be on the chopping block for them to come after.
Yes, yes.
It is very essential and very crucial that all Philadelphians, everybody in the state of Pennsylvania, comes out to vote in the next election to make sure that your voice is heard and that you stand on the front line of democracy. And we have to realize that if it's him now, it's you later.
Yes.
So for all of those electeds that's jumping on this bandwagon, just know that your job could next be at stake.
All right.
My name again is Reverend Gregory Holston. I am the gun violence chairperson of Black Clergy of Philadelphia. But I also stand here today as a senior advisor on policy and advocacy in the district attorney's office. Certainly Larry appreciates all of the support that is listed here. These powerful organizations, Black Clergy, Power, National Action Network, is very, very powerful to be here. And the NAACP, of course, and the elected officials. Needs to be made clear. They said that they're impeaching him about the gun violence increase in the city. Well, 24 counties and across the state of Pennsylvania have a higher percentage gun violence increase than the city of Philadelphia.
Say it.
If that's the case, you should impeach every district attorney in all of those counties as well.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
Say it.
But even more so, this is about democracy. In the areas that are the most affected by gun violence in the city of Philadelphia, those who are dealing with it every day, just last year, 80% of the voters in those areas voted to re-elect Larry Krasner.
That's right.
See, they recognize and understand that this is not just an issue of the district attorney. It's an issue for the mayor. It's an issue for every political leader. It's an issue for the entire city. And it's a national issue, but because the increase is both in this state and across the nation as happened during this pandemic. And we realize, as Larry realizes, they realize more prevention dollars is needed to make the difference in this situation. And we're pressing each and every day. Larry has stood with Black Clergy when they have demanded $100 million for community organizations in this city, where community groups by the 10s and 20s and 30s stood with him when he said that. He has always been about gun violence prevention. He's always been about ending gun violence in this city. He has done everything he possibly can do as a district attorney to deal with this issue, and the citizens of Philadelphia recognize that. And they also recognize that no other DA in the history of Philadelphia has ever been the kind of DA that helped release innocent people from jail.
That's right.
over 25 exonerees, but many, many more who have been released from jail who were innocent of the charges. Some
That's right.
spending 25 to 30 to 35 years in jail who had never had a chance to be free, were freed because Larry stood up and said, we will admit our wrongs as a district attorney.
Right.
We will admit our wrongs in this justice system,
Right.
and we will correct them and make sure that people have justice.
Yeah.
He's always been about fairness. He's always been about justice. But he's not getting treated justly right now.
That's
The
right.
Declaration of Independence and the Constitution will help craft it in this town. And we always believe in something called due process. Well, when they held him in contempt, they didn't even come to hear his side of the story.
No.
And when they're having hearings, as they want to have next Thursday, they want to do it at the naval base. They don't want to do it in the areas affected by gun violence. They don't want to do it in North Philly or West Philly or the rest or Germantown. They want to creep into town at the naval base and have these hearings so that people won't even know, and they still don't even want to hear from the DA himself.
Right.
It is wrong and it is unjust for him not to get due process. It is wrong and unjust for this kind of charade to go along. He's asking everybody to be down there on Thursday and Friday
That's
of next
right.
week to stand up for
That's be
democracy, to stand up for what is right,
That's
for
right.
what is just, for what is fair, because he's standing up for us. We want to stand up for him too, because it's not just him, it's every elected official, everybody who is at stake. Let's protect our democracy.
That's right. That's right. Right there, Dr. Walker.
We know where the Navy Yard is.
We know.
I want to thank all of our elected officials, our partners, and all NAACP, all our partners in this work. It's going to take all of us standing shoulder to shoulder to ensure that our democracy is not tattered. We won't stand for it. We are unified. We are together.
That's right. That's
Thank
right.
you.
Unified.
And good morning. Thank you.
God bless you all.